Dave, obviously a big night for Walker. Have you noticed anything about him early on today, just the anticipation for him?
Not yet. I haven't seen him, actually. I've been on the field. So I assume he's just getting his prep work. He has a pitcher's meeting at 4:45. So I expect him to be excited, anxious, a little nervous, and it's going to be fun to watch him compete.
What has stood out to you about watching him go through this process again?
I think probably it gets to be monotonous. It gets to be the same boring routine, not competing, pitching in games that really don't matter. And for a veteran guy, it gets hard and taxing on the mind. But for Walker to still stay focused on getting ready, seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, and now it's kind of, we're here. So I'm just really, proud that he can kind of, navigate that, the emotions, because it's hard, especially going through his second.
It's safe to say you probably get less competitive during that time off. How do you sort of channel that competitive energy in the last couple of years?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think that there's a point where you have to get your mind elsewhere, pick up other interests, and fortunately for him, through this process, he got married, had a baby, and so his attention, can be off baseball. It's more for also the sanity part of it and also the enjoyment part of his new life. But the compete is still in there, certainly, and I know it's kind of been caged up for quite some time.
Dave, is there a roster move for Buehler?
We haven't decided that yet, but yeah, there will be a roster move. It'll be with somebody in the pen, just not sure who right now.
Dave, obviously as guys get older, there's wear and tear, right? They have to start pitching differently. Is your anticipation that Buehler's going to have to make certain adjustments as he comes back here?
I think all of that is going to be predicated on his fastball command. I don't expect to see 96, 97 that he was prior to the surgery, but I do expect command at some point, whether it's tonight or the forthcoming outings. The command of the fastball with his velocity will still allow for him to do different things. If he's not commanding the fastball, then you're sort of trying to mix and match and try to trick guys. And so he's got to command the baseball.
Because in the past, it seemed when you would get into jams and stuff, it was kind of reach back and here it is. And so when you say, maybe that 96, 97 is not there anymore, how do you see him kind of adjusting to that reality?
It's an adjustment, and I don't think it's going to be there tonight, not to say that it won't get there at some point. And he might surprise us all, which wouldn't be a surprise in itself. But I do think that just rearing back and throwing it by guys, I don't think that's going to happen, over the course of outings. But yeah, I'm sure that, at some point a pitcher gets in there and just wants to throw it by a guy, and I'm sure we're going to see that tonight too. But I still think that, he's going to be a very good pitcher. He still is a very good pitcher, and he has weapons to get right and left out, and he's going to have to use them.
Is this just kind of about getting him right for, not to look too far ahead, but, I assume you want him ready to, be going in October?
I think it's even more than that. I think for Walker, he hasn't pitched consistently for quite some time. So it's about him being good in the regular season. And, once we get to October, then, we'll figure that out. But for him especially, he needs to pitch well and compete and take down, X amount of starts.
What are you thinking about today for pitch count?
I think it's right around the 80, 85 mark. Certainly depending on stress of particular innings and how his stuff looks. But if all goes well, I'd love to see him get into the sixth inning. That'd be great.
What went into having a spinning eighth and Outman?
I just think that James is really scuffling. He's in between, and I think that with Gavin, he's taken much better at bats, and I like him, behind Andy.
With James
talked about how he's kind of streaky and stuff like that. But what do you see from him kind of on a consistent basis?
Uncertainty with his mechanics, uncertainty with his approach. And, you know, when you're in that spot, it's tough to hit.
With Paez, you know, he's been having the success so far. Would you say once you do get your healthy roster back, would Paez still be a guy that is in there every night?
Yeah, if he continues to play like this, it's hard to take him out of the lineup. We have to win baseball games, and you know, giving guys leash and opportunities is one thing, but at the end of the day, you know, if you're playing the way he's playing, and on both sides of the baseball, he's earning the right to play.
You've talked about in the past getting guys out of the hot box, maybe sending them down. Has there been discussion of that with James? Maybe it would do anything.
You know, not right now. I think that obviously it's a lot of it is contingent on, or some of it's contingent on Jason and his progression, which is coming along really well. So we still have some time, but right now for me, it's just go out there and try to work through some things, clear your mind, and help us win a game. So I don't think that, you know, I'm not going to outwardly say that we're having this conversation, because we aren't actually. But I just want him to kind of hopefully have some clarity and start fresh today and just take it at bats.
Jason was running the curves in the infield there. How close is he to a rehab?
He's really close. So he hit in the group on Saturday. He'll hit in the group today, and he's doing this traject machine that we have in the cage set up. So he's taking some at bats there. So as far as rehab, he's close. I don't know, you know, as far as, we don't have it planned out yet, but he's getting there. So I don't see it happening, you know, during this homestand, but after the off day, it might be a conversation.
Last year with James, he had those 2 months where he just kind of struggled, but you always maintain that his, you know, his mental was kind of still there. Is it the same this year, or do you see something different? Like, do you see this
Different. I think that it's different. Last year when he was struggling, at some points it was similar in the sense of the indecisiveness, and then at other points it was just the swing and miss, and then he kind of started barreling some balls and really got going. So right now it's more of the former, where I just see a lot of indecision.
Why do you think that is? Just because he hasn't really had the hot April like he did last year, sort of?
No, I think that, you know, to get hot, you have to have some clarity and feel good about your swing. And I don't think he's been there yet. So hopefully today, you know, when he's taking his bats, I see that he feels confident, he feels convicted in, you know, his mechanics, his approach, and then goes out there and ultimately, you know, competes.
Who would have pitched the 9th inning yesterday if it was like a 2-run game?
Yesterday it was, yeah, I don't know yet. I don't know. That's a good question, Mike.
I think Hudson was still.
Yeah, it'd probably been Hudson. Yeah.
With Heyward using that machine in the cage, does that either lessen or negate the need to face live pitching for rehab?
I think it cuts into it. This machine is a pretty realistic machine, so you can log a lot of at-bats with that. And they're still certainly coming back. There's only a certain amount you want to take each day, but I think that cuts into it. But for a position player, the up and down, running out to right field, sitting, playing again, all that stuff plays into that. We got to do the best we can simulating that.
Dave, I was talking to Blake earlier, and he was talking about just rehabbing with JP and Walker, and, you know, kind of sharing that experience with them and all coming back this season. Does it feel like, just especially for Blake and Walker, who there was that possibility of returning last year, like, is there an excitement for you just like it's just a long time coming, like finally back with this team? Yeah,
there is. As a person who's been hurt playing and you feel like on an island, you don't feel a part of things. So to get these guys back active on the roster, I know it feels like now I'm contributing. And so, so with Blake going yesterday and having a good clean inning, and then with Walker coming back, yeah, it's fun to kind of see things coming together as far as guys on the rehab front, and those guys in Arizona have done a great job, our trainers here, and, you know, hopefully we'll keep having some more guys coming back and not losing as many.
Do you expect Brasier anytime soon, or is that coming along pretty slow?
It's coming. I think he's doing a great job of using his arm and keeping his arm in shape. I saw him down today playing catch, flat ground. It was coming out really well. But the calf is one of the trickier muscles in the sense of it feels good until it does, and then you can really take a couple steps back. So I think we're being really cautious. So, you know, the last one he had was 2 months a couple years ago, so that's probably still a safe bet.
Dave, Otani was named the player of the week for first time for his Dodger. What have you seen him for this week? You know, last week.
I mean, for this past week, controlling the strike zone. I think that's he's won a lot of pitches, and we talk about earning pitches, and so he's taken a lot of mid-count balls down below the zone or off the plate or in, and getting into some decent counts and getting some good pitches to hit. So he's done a great job of earning good pitches to hit.
We talked about this yesterday. He had that 3 strikeout game before the 2 days off. Have you seen a different approach after that 2 days off?
Yeah. I think that was kind of an outlier game. I don't think it was the end of a 9 in a row, and so I think one of those you just kind of dismissed that one.